What's up, guys? So here with Goran from Pickdawgz, and thank you for joining me here for your free picks for the MLS on Saturday, July 13th. Well, guys, another Saturday, another big slate of the MLS games. This time, 14 games on the schedule. 7:30 and later than that are kickoffs, and it's going to be a very fun evening filled with great soccer. As far as the rest of the picks goes, we do have a third place matchup in Copa America between Canada and Uruguay. That's at 8 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday as well. And you can get free picks for that up on the Pickdawgz YouTube channel. So check it out. Make sure you subscribe and make sure you hit that like button. Now, guys, we are into the final weekend of those Euro Cup and Copa America competitions. On Sunday, we have two big finales. Spain and England in Germany, and then we have Argentina and Colombia in the States, game being played in Miami. And you will be getting free picks for those games as well. Now, as for my best bets goes, simply click the link in the description of this video, and that will get you up to my page where you can sign up. Or if you're interested in that Golden Boot VIP access, that is, if you're one of those big bettors who likes to place $500 bets and above that, has a bit of a bigger bankroll, is willing to wait for picks, for top picks until an hour to half an hour before the game time. That's the program that you are joining in. That's the service you are getting. Those are my top, absolutely best bets, the bets that I put a lot of money on as well. And basically, you're signing up. It's not a free promotion or anything like that. It's a paid service. You're signing up for a month, and that's when you are making a lot of money on it as well. Now, guys, let's get this show on the road, guys. We have a lot of games to go through. 14 games, like I said, the first one being Montreal and Atlanta. Uh, I think that Montreal is slowly rising up their form. I think that they're doing well, especially when playing at home. And with Atlanta being on a three-game losing streak right now, they've lost their last two games on the road, and they lost in the U.S. Open Cup earlier this week. I feel like they will be a little bit tired in this game. And yes, I know they haven't played their full lineup in that game in the US Open Cup. But I think that this is going to be a hard game for them. I think that Montreal has a great chance here to get another win. And with that in mind, guys, I'm keeping it simple. I'm taking Montreal on the money line at plus 140. DC and Nashville are two kind of a struggling teams, especially DC United, who hasn't won any of their last 11 games, while Nashville is now on a three-game losing streak. And one thing is quite clear, guys: these teams are conceding a lot of goals. Um, I mean, there is some quality among those teams, that's for sure. Like Christian Benteke playing for DC United and stuff like that. But both teams have a lot of injured players right now. Both teams have players missing and playing for the national team still. And with that in mind, I just don't see either side keeping a clean sheet, guys. So I'm gonna go with both teams to score at minus 167. Cincinnati and Charlotte is the next matchup, and I'm gonna keep this one very, very simple. This one was quite clear to me, if I'm being honest. Cincinnati, the best team in the league by far, especially with playing at home, and with Charlotte being on a two-game losing streak right now. We simply have to take Cincinnati on the money line. It's minus 139. I know the price seems a little bit sketchy. Why are they the bigger favorites? I honestly couldn't say, but I love Cincinnati here to get the job done at home. Charlotte overall on the road is not that good, and now on top of that, they are on a two-game losing streak, which certainly is not going to be helpful against the best team in the league. Now, before we move on, guys, let me just say that at the end of this video, there is a four-leg parlay for the MLS, which I decided to include. It's nice, plus 298 four-leg parlay. So stay tuned until the end and put that bet in as well. I think we hit the last two parlays that I posted in the comment section of MLS videos. So let's keep the ball rolling with that as well. In the next matchup, guys, we have New England hosting Orlando, and you know what? I'm keeping this one very, very simple as well. Orlando is actually scoring quite a lot right now. They've scored 9 goals in their last 3 games, but they've also conceded a bunch of goals. New England has been playing well at home. They have been scoring goals. They've lost 2 of their last 3, which means that they're also conceding goals. So I'm gonna take the over 2.5 in this one at minus 161. I think that both teams to score at over 2.5 could be a good pick as well. but I'm gonna keep it simple and not I'm not gonna force anything like that. So the over 2.5 is gonna be good enough for me in this game. Now, Toronto and Philadelphia are two very struggling teams, two teams who will be desperate for a win in this game because Toronto hasn't won any of their last 10 games. Philadelphia hasn't won any of their last 9 games. But when playing at home, Toronto hasn't lost to Philadelphia in any of their last 3 games. Now, both teams have some offensive firepower, that's for sure. But defensively, they are one big mess, and it's not faring well for them. Philadelphia, one of the worst teams in the league, in 26th place overall. And when playing on the road, they have conceded 21 goals in 11 games. Toronto, on the other side, when playing at home, has conceded 20 goals while scoring 21. So there's a lot of goals being scored among these two teams, and definitely the over 2.5 is worth a look. But with both teams struggling so much, I'm gonna give advantage to Toronto here because they are playing at home and they're a healthier team. So I'm gonna take Toronto, the money line at plus 180. Austin will be hosting Seattle, and I think this is going to be a bit of a hard game. Both teams are playing pretty well right now. Seattle on a 4 game winning streak, but they are winning games late in the game. So I think that if anything's going to happen in this game, if either team gets a win, I think it's going to happen in the second half. I think the defense will be first and foremost thing that these two teams will be focused on, especially Austin at home, who would like to get another win to extend their winning streak, but it's not going to be an easy task against this very, very good Seattle team. So, with all that in mind, guys, I'm taking first half draw at plus 112. I'm expecting a very hard fought battle here between these two teams. And like I said, if anything is going to happen, in my opinion, it will be in the second half. Chicago will be hosting New York City FC, and this one I'm also going to keep it very, very simple, guys. Both teams coming off of a loss. Chicago was not able to score a goal against San Jose, which is highly disappointing. But before that, they've scored a bunch of goals and conceded a lot of goals as well. New York City FC is in a bit of a downward kind of a trajectory right now, and I'm sure that missing a bunch of players has been basically a key part of that. But they're now playing against Chicago, who is still missing a lot of players as well, has a suspended player and stuff like that. So I do like goals in this one. I'm going to take another over 2.5 at minus 161. Now, this one, I really do not dare to go with both teams to score as well because I could see either one of these two teams getting shut out in this game. So I'm going to keep it simple and I'm just going to take over 2.5 at minus 161. Now, Dallas will be hosting LA Galaxy in the next matchup, and this could potentially be one of the best games of the day. Dallas has lost 4 of their last 5, and they lost in the U.S. Open Cup against Kansas after overtime 2-1. While Galaxy on the other side did not play the U.S. Open Cup, and they are now they have won 5 of their last 6. They are scoring a lot of goals and they seem to be getting their groove back in that attacking end, especially. Now, when playing at home, Dallas hasn't lost to Galaxy in their last 7 games, so they have a very I mean, they have a lot of stuff to be confident about in this game, and I think that they could get to the scoreboard. As a matter of fact, I think that they will get to the scoreboard. But as of right now, Galaxy is the better team, and they can outscore Dallas in this game. So I'm gonna go for the full value here in this one, guys. I'm gonna go with Galaxy to win and both teams to score at plus 265. For our next game, guys, we'll be staying in Texas, and we have Houston hosting Minnesota. And this will be a game where Minnesota will try to do something. They are on a 7 game losing streak. They are in a horrible, horrible form, conceding a lot of goals, whether they play it at home or on the road. But luckily for them, Houston lost to Salt Lake in their last game. So that could have disrupted their rhythm they had because they were playing really well. Uh, and they could potentially have a chance in this game to do something, maybe to get at least a point to snap that losing streak and then try and go move forward from that. And with that in mind, guys, I'm going to go with both teams to score. I simply don't think that Minnesota can keep a clean sheet, but I think they can score a goal, at least a goal in this game. So, Houston versus Minnesota, both teams to score. St. Louis and Vancouver is a matchup that we saw a couple of weeks ago or so in the MLS as well, where Vancouver was hosting them. and they were losing 3-0 at halftime. And then with four scored goals in the second half, Vancouver got a 4-3 win in that game. Now, this is going to be a bit of a different game, first and foremost, because St. Louis is the home team in this game. So we definitely should expect a little bit more effort from them as they were playing their best football at home this season, where they have 4 wins, 5 draws, and 3 losses, and only 12 conceded goals. Now, Vancouver on the road has been average. They have been scoring about a goal and a half, maybe a bit less, conceding pretty much the same amount. But I mean, both teams have been a little bit sloppy defensively lately. So I'm going to take Vancouver on the double chance in this one at minus 125 because simply because they're in better form, undefeated in their last 4 or 5 games. And they have beaten St. Louis just a few weeks ago. So I'm not necessarily expecting them to do it again, but I do believe that Vancouver will get at least a point out of this game. Colorado is hosting Red Bulls, and honestly, I would be surprised by the odds we are getting maybe a month and a half ago. But right now, I am simply not because Colorado definitely deserves to be the favorites in this game. With New York Red Bulls winning only one of their last 5 games, while Colorado has won 5 of their last 6, and they're scoring a lot of goals when playing at home. Colorado scored 24 goals in 11 home games, while New York Red Bulls conceded 20 goals in 12 games on the road so far this season. When we look at the injury lists, those are getting smaller and smaller as the players are getting back from the international duty and stuff like that. And we have two teams who I think could make a case to get a win out of this game. But right now, Colorado is simply playing too well at home. They're scoring a lot of goals. And with that in mind, I'm taking Colorado team total over 1.5 goals at minus 120. Portland and Salt Lake could potentially be also one of the best games of the day in the MLS because two teams are playing pretty well right now, and Salt Lake being one of the best teams in the league, maybe doesn't deserve to be that big of an underdog at plus 195. But with Portland playing outstanding football, losing only one of their last 6 games, and scoring 27 goals in 11 home games, that definitely warrants them being favorites here in this game. I think this is going to be a really, really fun game with a lot of chances on both sides. Both teams have a few injured players, which definitely will have a bit of an impact on both of them. And ultimately, I didn't want to settle on goals in this one because a lot of goals are expected. At minus 213, we are getting the over 2.5. Both teams to score is like minus 250 or something like that. So I decided to go with something else. I decided to take Salt Lake over 4.5 quarters at minus 143. Potentially, I think we'll see a lot of quarters on both sides. But Salt Lake had a smaller line, and it's actually priced quite decently at minus 143. For the last couple of picks, guys, before we move on to the parlay, we have 2 games in California. The first one being LAFC and Columbus. LAFC on a 4 game winning streak. They did beat New Mexico United in the US Open Cup. Before that, they beat Galaxy, that big derby, 2-1. While Columbus on the other side is scoring a lot of goals right now. They have scored 15 goals in their last 4 games, and they basically look unstoppable in that attack again. And with that in mind, I don't think that LAFC can stop them from scoring a goal. Yes, they still haven't lost a home game this season. I don't necessarily think they will lose this one, but I don't think that they can get a win by keeping a clean sheet. So both teams to score it over 2.5 at minus 133. And the last pick before the parlay, guys, is between San Jose and Kansas. San Jose is coming off of a win against Chicago 1-0, and they will certainly like to build upon that win. And there's no better opponent for them right now than Kansas. Kansas has won 3 of their last 4 games. Yes, actually all 3 of those games were at home. But when playing on the road, Kansas has conceded 23 goals in 11 games while scoring only 12. So potentially this is a great opportunity for San Jose to get another win. But once again, I don't think they can do it by keeping a clean sheet. So in this game as well, both teams to score it over 2.5 at minus 133. And now we are up to the parlay, guys. We have a nice four-legger, like I said. I'm gonna go with DC United versus Nashville over 1.5 goals. New England versus Orlando over 2.5 goals. I'm gonna take Galaxy on the double chance against Who are they playing against? I forgot. Against Dallas on the road. And I'm going to take both teams to score in Portland and Salt Lake because both teams are playing really well and scoring a lot of goals. So, like I said, guys, DC United, Nashville over 1.5 goals, New England, Orlando over 2.5, Galaxy on the double chance against Dallas, and Portland versus Salt Lake, both teams to score. Four leg parlay plus 298. That's it, everyone. Thank you for joining me here. It was my pleasure doing these videos for you. So if you could hit that like button and subscribe to Pickdawgz YouTube channel, that does help us a lot, and we appreciate it. And yeah, that's it. Have a great evening, guys. Good luck with all of your bets, and we'll see you soon with more free picks.